Section 20 of Shadowland, September 1919. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by Larry Thomas. Shadowland, September 1919, by Various. Prescriptions by Dr. Sunbeam. In nothing do men approach so nearly to the gods as in giving health to man. By Cicero. And thus do I find myself sitting on the same whitewashed fence with the other gods. What is the most important thing in the world? Drummond said that the greatest thing in the world was love, but I don't agree with him. What good is money, love, influence, popularity, books, art, music, land, and estates, yea, a kingdom without health? Yes, indeed. Health is the most important thing in the world. If it is health, how much do you know about it? Horace Fletcher made some bad mistakes, one of which sent him to a premature grave, but nevertheless, he said some very wise things. Among them, the following: were I an iron and steel automobile instead of a flesh and blood automobile, which I am, could I get a license for myself as a chauffeur to run myself with safety based upon my knowledge of my own mechanism and theory and development of my power? If you are in good health, you will probably pass this paragraph and think no more of it. But someday you will find yourself on the sick list, and then you will wish that you had obtained a license to run your machine intelligently. So halt, brother, and read this sign. Don't exceed the speed limit. If you do, you will be arrested, and then the doctors will take you in charge. I don't know whether you would rather be in the hands of the doctors or of the sheriff and jailers. If in the latter, I would stand a fair chance of getting out. If the former, the Lord knows whether I would get out at all. At all. There are doctors and doctors. No two were ever known to agree upon the same thing. I can quote eminent authorities on both sides of any question. I can prove that milk is the best food possible and that it is the worst food possible. I can prove that 2 meals a day is the best kind of life insurance, and I can prove that 2 meals a day is signing one's death warrant. I can prove that exercise is excellent, and I can prove that it is fatal, and so on and so on. There is really only one doctor in the world, and his name is Dr. Nature. All other physicians are simply assistants to Dr. Nature. Every wise doctor will tell you, when you are laid up with typhoid or some other disease, that he can't cure you, that the disease must run its course, and all he can do is keep you comfortable and prevent infection. If you cut your finger, everybody knows that Dr. Nature will heal it for you if you give him a chance. From your own human medicine chest, he will send down to the spot just the right chemicals to heal the wound. All you have to do is keep all foreign substances from the wound so that Dr. Nature can do his work unmolested. A little peroxide or something of that sort, simply to keep Dr. Nature's enemies off. It has nothing to do with the healing. Nearly every day, someone asks me how to get thin or how to get fat. In fact, among several hundred acquaintances, I do not recall one who is perfectly satisfied with his or her weight. Books and books and books have been written on this subject, and yet the public seems to be uninformed. After all, it is a simple subject and very easy to understand. Some foods turn into fat, and others do not. Which do and which do not is pretty generally known. Every person burns up so much fat every day. Active persons use up a great deal, and inactive persons use up very little. Every time you snap your fingers, you burn up tissue. If you chop wood all day, you will burn up a lot. If you do nothing but read the papers, walk around the block, talk to your friends, eat and sleep, you will not burn up very much. And if at the same time you eat large quantities of fat-producing foods, you are pretty sure to gain weight. While it is true that some persons are born to be thin and some are born to be fat, it is equally true that any person will gain or lose weight according to their activities and diet. It is merely a question of how much cargo you take aboard the ship and how much you unload per day. If you should sit in your chair all day reading a novel without taking a mouthful of food or drink, you would find yourself much lighter at night than you were in the morning. Even if you don't perspire perceptibly, you are losing weight all the time through your breath, through your eyes, through your pores, etc. It is simply a matter of arithmetic. If you take on board every day 2 pounds of cargo and only unload 1 pound, you are bound to gain 1 pound a day. And that is as plain as A, B, C, unless you are D, E, F. Overeating is and always has been the greatest friend of the physician, for we all eat too much, and the surplus over necessity forms a poison which has to be eliminated through boils, pimples, colds, and other diseases. But since eating is such a pleasant amusement, and since we should make sure that the brain and other organs have sufficient variety from which to select their nourishment, let us eat, drink, and be merry, and then burn up the unused surplus by plenty of vigorous exercise. Disease, pain, and trouble are due to ignorance. Knowledge cures all. The only difficulty is in getting the right kind of knowledge. There are 725 million air cells in the lungs, which, if spread out, would cover 290,000 square inches. In 24 hours, 8 tons of blood passes through your lungs to relieve itself of carbon dioxide and to take in oxygen. There are about 2,000 miles of tubing for your blood to circulate through, and a drop of blood travels about 168 miles per day. To produce good health, you require 2 pounds of oxygen for every pound of food in your blood, and to get this oxygen, you must breathe deeply and breathe pure air. 9/10 of us use only about 1/2 of the 290,000 square inches of lung area, and therefore the other 1/10 have twice as good health as we have. To open the windows and doors and to get out in the open is good, but that is only half the medicine. To fill your lungs is the proper dose. To be fat is a misfortune and a disease. In many cases, a crime. Tom Reed, who came and went before Taft and who was no Lilliputian himself, declared no gentleman ever weighed over 200 pounds. Yet those who are thin yearn to be fat, just as those who are fat yearn to be thin. We are never satisfied, always reaching for that which is just beyond our grasp. Overeating and under-elimination are disease's best friends. The big eater must pedestrianize extensively after each meal, drink half a gallon of water daily, and fill up frequently with ozone. Burn it up. That is the thing to do. End of section 20. Prescriptions by Dr. Sunbeam.